Hello, my friends, and welcome back. We're going to do another Northern Lights painting. I had a second request, another commission from the last one I did, who wanted something very similar. So we're going to throw that together for you here. But as you can see, I have a 16 by 20 canvas coated with black gesso, and then I've taken a thin, even coat of Gamblin Clear Gel and put it on the top section here. I will add more to the bottom once I get there. I find that it can tend to dry up a little bit, so I'll wait, and then once I get down to that spot, I'll add it back in. So we're going to get started and plop some northern lights and a big mountain and have some fun. So I'm going to keep this pretty similar to my first piece, because that's what the buyer wanted. So I'm going to start with some underpaint for the sky. And we're going to use some sap green and some phthalo green to get the sky underpainted. So pull out a decent amount. Tap your bristles in there to get an equal distribution of paint, so we're not gobbing. Just tap, tap, tap. I want to come up here. Oops. All right, so we're going to come up here. Let's try this again. All right, so we're going to come up here with our green, and we're going to put the sap green up here. And again, we're just kind of here and there. Over a little bit. Good. Then, same brush, we'll go into this phthalo green. Come right above that, or right next to that, and swirl that phthalo green in. And then a little more sap green and phthalo green mixed. Okay. And back to phthalo. Again, we're just putting the color underneath here. It's okay if the colors mix, that's fine. Spread it through. Okay, and then on the end, a little mix of the phthalo and the sap. I find the sap green on here can give it a little bit of a yellow tint on top of this black. Bring that down. And again, it doesn't matter. So we'll just kind of blend all that together like that. Okay. That should be good. And if you want to test what color you have where, you can just simply touch. And see what you get on your finger. Okay, good. All right. So now we're going to take some titanium white. Now this is my Gamblin 1980 series titanium white. I prefer this, I found, for Northern Lights just because it's a little more runnier than my go-to for mountains, which is the Gamblin Artist series. Now when I do my mountain here, we will switch over to the Artist, but for the Northern Lights, we're going to use the 1980. So we will load up our fan brush. Both sides. Good amount of paint. All right. So maybe today we will start. Let's see here. Give ourselves enough room for the outside one. So maybe the outside one will start here. Go up like that. Okay. A little more paint. Second one. Go like that. the third one. Maybe we'll start here. He'll go off like that. Good. More color on the turn. Okay. I'm going to wipe that brush off. All right. Okay, so now we're going to come in. We have a clean, dry 2-inch brush and paper towels handy so that we can wipe frequently as we're doing this. And we're going to come here, try and get right on that line, and just lift it. We want to go straight up. It's really important that we're going straight up. So we're just going to pull, grab. There we go. Wipe your brush. A little sideways here. Here. Really dig the heel of your brush in there. Wipe. Come on the outside here. Come straight up. Lots of pressure. Lean into it. Brush. And again, just come here. Pull these straight up. Okay, come to the second line. Same thing. Yeah. I want to come straight up. Pull it straight up. Okay, come to this third one. Touch this up a little bit. Good. Wipe that brush. And we'll come to this last one. Again, just pull. Okay, on the outside. Catch this. Good. come in here, take a little bit of that phthalo green. I'm going to drop it in here. A little more green. Good. And again, wipe our brush and come back through here. It's darken that up. I like that a little better. Good. Okay. A little more pressure here. All right. Okay, now we're going to wipe this brush off real good. Then come through the whole thing, from bottom to the top. Wipe your brush. Your brush. Good. Very good. I like to come through and just clean off this bottom edge. Just a little bit. Gently. Good. We'll have a mountain cover in that entrance, so we'll be good. Okay. There. Oops. Pesky. All right. And I might even go back and add a touch. Add a touch of white here and there. Maybe here. There. Just a little bit. A couple spots. Okay. And just come back with this 2-inch. 1-inch, sorry. All right, now we'll drop a mountain in here. So I added some mountain mix. This is just a, some people have asked me about this. Let me show you. If you don't have it, oops, kicking the camera. Bob Ross mountain mixture. And it's basically just a mixture of all your darks. Great for any of your underpaintings, mountains, foliage, trees, rocks, whatever. Good stuff. Instead of taking a dab of this, dab of that, dab of that, just dump this on your palette. Sometimes I use some different combinations of darks, but this is nice to have ready to go. Takes care of all your underpainting, and if you want to add a little white to it and lighten it up for more distance things, you can do that. So recommended. Okay, so we're going to put our mountain in. Let me straighten my camera out after I kicked it. There we go. And so again, that mountain mix, just cut off. Just get a little roll of paint on your knife. And let's decide how we want this mountain and where we want it. So I think we're going to start it here. Okay, we'll come up. This will be the tip. Maybe this guy comes like this. Okay, like that. And he'll come down. Get that paint. Come off to the side. Like that. And you won't be able to see this, but this, I can see it. I mean, we already have a lot of dark here, so we don't need much, but I do like to define that top edge so I know what I'm doing at least. So maybe this will come over. Maybe we'll hook this boy over like this, up into here. And this will break. Have it break this light. And come off the side like that. Scrape that extra paint off. Good. All right. And let's see now. Maybe this comes down this way and up to here. Another thing with mountains, if you can, try not to have them triangular, you know. I mean, obviously they're triangular. Let me rephrase that. But careful of just the straight points, like a pyramid. It's very rare that you see a mountain that looks like that. So make your tops a little uneven, a little jagged. Even rounded is fine, but try and avoid those pyramid type. You know what, I'm going to add, I think we need to put something right here. So let's, another little peak, just to cover up the end of this. Like it's going behind the mountain there. Okay, good. I like that better. And just scrape that paint, darken that a little bit. Okay, and then maybe this just kind of comes off here and goes away to nothing. Good. So now we're just going to scrape all this excess paint. Because scraping the paint, in this case, especially with a black canvas, is going to allow our highlight phase to be easier. The more paint you have sitting here, the much more difficult it is to highlight. And I always hear about people, oh, I can't get my paint to break. I can't, well, part of that is your titanium white is too thin, and many brands are. The other part is you have too much underpaint, liquid white, liquid clear. All that gets soupy. So there we go. So wipe that off. All that gets sick, and then you try and draw that white over top of it, and boy, you got a mess. So what I like to do is get rid of most of that paint, and that will make your life easier. So now we'll come in. I'm just going to use the same brush that I put my clear gel on here. This is a 2-inch brush. I'll grab the top here, pull that off. There we go. The reason we do this, two things. It extends our mountain, which is good, because we want to get down to the our mountain just doesn't stop here. So it extends it, so that's a good thing. But more importantly, or equally as important, is it gets rid of all this extra paint. You can see my brush has a lot of dark paint from that mountain mix. So we're going to scrub that off and pull this and get rid of that paint. So when we highlight, our life is much better. So come up here and get what you can. Bend them bristles. That's what you want. Go ahead and bend them. That moves the paint. Okay, come over here. Pull that off. Wipe. Again, I like to wipe and get all that paint off my brush. And again, this is just a mountain mix, just getting rid of this paint, pulling it out. All right, very good. And this way. Okay. I think we're good. And this is also a good time where you can kind of lay out your mountain with brush strokes. I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but you can certainly lay out how you want it, where you want your highlight side, where you want your shadows, just by coming in and pulling. Maybe hooks around, maybe this guy comes down. You can do that, or, and I like to do that sometimes. Sometimes, honestly, I like to just start going, and then I start to see things. So there we go. Now I'm just overworking nothing. So wipe that off. Then the next step I like to do, and not always, I mean, I do this probably half the time. It just depends. I mean, you learn to work with what you have, and if you have too much paint, and I can still highlight the mountain. You just got to be a little more careful. But man, if you get the paint off, it really makes it even easier. It's like you can't miss. So I take a shop towel and I come back here carefully and wipe down all of this extra paint that's sitting here. And get rid of it because you don't need it. There's a lot of paint on there. And when we go to put our white on, boy, it's going to break so easily. Get this paint off. Just wipe it down. There's a lot of paint on there. Okay, good. There. Excellent. Off she goes. Chuck that. Yeah, now our next step is going to be much easier. Hopefully. So now I'm going to put, like I said, I had the Gamblin 1980. Now I'm going to use the Artist Series for my mountain highlights. Super thick, hard to squeeze out of this tube. It's so thick. And it is great for clouds and mountains. It does not blend away. That's why I like it so much. And it breaks super easy. So we'll put some of that down. Okay, so we're going to put some highlights on here. Again, I got my super thick Artist Series titanium white. We're just going to pull that out flat, and we are going to grab a little bit of the phthalo green. You don't really need too much more than that. It's very strong. See that? Very strong color. It'll eat your white up in a second. So pull some white out on there and leave it marbled. So you have a nice effect of varied color. So I pull out a lot of that, as you can see. Okay, now we're just going to cut across. Get a tiny bit. little roll of paint here. So let's go up here. Let me see here. Maybe right here. We'll start. Touch. And slightly, slowly pull down. I like to do shorter, choppier type strokes. There we go. Nice break. We'll flatten this guy out quickly. Okay. Always take a step back. Try and think about what you're doing and where you're going. Let's come over here. And for this one, I'm going to put a little more phthalo green. So a little more, take a little phthalo over here, because this one's a little closer to that edge. So let's get a little. Okay, this one's going to be right underneath. So, ooh, I like that. I have to add a little white on top of that. And bring him this way. A little too greenish, but we can take care of that. This guy this way. Bring him up like that. Get some of that green off of there. That top. Good. Again, pull that out flat. Cut across. A little roll paint. And this one over here. Same thing. We're going to follow this line. Like that. Like that. Good. Let's see here. Lower section there. Okay. And this one's going to be a little more greenish. Maybe over here. And we're going to add a little bit of white to that. It's a little dark. So come back. I'm going to touch the top with just a little white. Roll paint. Bring him out flat. A lot of times you're doing a mountain, when you start at the top, it's a little more vertical. As you work your way down, get a little more horizontal. That shows you're headed to the bottom, flattening out. Hit my camera again. Again, we're just skimming this brush, or this knife. And as we get lower, we're going to come over like that. Maybe this guy comes around like that. We'll see. Again, this is going to be very similar to the last Northern Lights I did, because that's what the buyer requested. They actually liked my last one, and I, told them it was sold. And they said, well, can you do something very similar? So that's what we're doing here. Very good. Just like that, you got a pretty cool looking mountain. Doesn't take a whole lot. All right, so now we're going to go with our shadow, and I'm going to do a little bit of this phthalo green and white for my shadow, like we had in some of these highlights, because I thought that was a pretty good color. So let's take some of that green and white for our shadow. Let's cut it out. Cut a little roll of paint. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Maybe this starts here. When I'm doing the shadow, I like to stay on the top edge here. Probably should use my little knife. I'm going to bring that into that. Get my little knife. The knife be a little bit easier. I like that. Maybe even a little darker. Just a touch. And again, when I'm highlighting my mountain, I have an earlier mountain tutorial. I really go over in depth how to highlight. But it's just a matter of skimming that roll of paint on here. Gentle hold. It's just skimming that roll of paint. And then here, I feel like darker down here. Yeah, I like that. Bring it back like that. Good. So let's keep moving. Sticking with the phthalo green and white. A little roll of paint here. Let's come up here. Let me see here. You know what I need to add? Let's come back. I need a little white, a straight white. Well, a little white with a little phthalo green in it. And I need to extend this tip a little bit, like here. There we go. That's a little better. That will come back with our green. Carefully, slowly. Don't go fast. Please don't go fast. Take your time here. If you go fast, you're going to mess everything up. Once you get a little more experience, you can. But now, we just want to easy bring these shadows in. Look at that. See that? Just barely touching. Bringing that phthalo green a little more at the edge here. And these little gaps right here. Here, watch this. See that? Boom, right in. Perfect. Bring that up. Oh yeah, I'm digging it. All right, step back. Step back and take a look. Really important. And I want to come over here. A little heavy here. My knife. Let me see here. Under there. Leave these dark spots. Very key. Let me see here. Good. So let's come up to this section. He needs a little shadow. Color. Here. All right, it's looking pretty good. I think we're all right there. Get a little more white. Dump a little white right here. Just a little bit. Good. Very good. Right here. A little stronger on the top. Good. All right. Okay, now on this side's even a little further away from any kind of light on this side. So we'll go even a little darker with our phthalo green mix, just a little bit. Let's come up here. A little darker back there. Okay, now we come with the small edge of our little knife. And if we want, we can, you don't want to take in all these dark areas, but you can certainly put a little bit here and there. Okay. And I like to, at this point, you kind of play back and forth between your light and your dark. We want this to come together here. Okay, and then down here, now it's going to come off here this way. Oop. Knocking my camera again. This off. Good. And let's see here. Let's bring this down here a little bit. So we can meet these ends up, put them together. Need a little more white. Oops, way too strong. Sorry, we can fix him. All right, what we'll do here, it's a little bit too thick, so we can fix him. So add some dark. There we go. And just like that, fixed. Just go back to your mountain mix. There we go. I still feel like that's a little strong, so I'm going to come back with a little bit of this green. And we're just going to touch that up a little bit. Just kind of come together. Okay, that's better. A little bit bright. Dark on there. Just a touch. Very easy fix. Good. All right, so we're just going to take our little blender and we're going to tap just gently in the direction that you did your mountain highlights, just here a little bit at the bottom. Just a little bit. I'm going to diffuse this. And again, it's just to diffuse the base. Okay, same thing on this side. So follow these angles. Try not to go straight across. Start a little lower. Start a little higher. And again, we're just breaking up the base. This way is going to come here like this. Okay. And then we'll come back up against the exact way that we just tapped down. Just come up a little bit. And we're going to add some stuff in front of this here. I still got to add more clear gel. As you can see, I am out. So we'll come up on this mountain like this. And that's going to just dump out kind of right there. All right. Okay. Okay, so we'll continue on down. Now I need to, we're dry down here, so I'm going to add a little more of my clear gel. So we'll just come in here and again, we'll just tap. Work this up right to this line and down. Scrub it in. rub her on in. Hair. Okay, good. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, make sure we get this clear gel up there a little higher. Okay. All right. Hair off of there. Very good. So now I'm going to take, I think I'm going to use this in a while, my old Bob Ross blender, and it's just a little bit bigger, and I'm going to take some titanium white with a little bit of this green in it, a little bit of phthalo green, and we're just going to gently kind of spin in a few misty areas that will blend out. Just right up into here. And most of this will be covered. We're really just looking for this top edge of mist. Chuck a little more phthalo green in there. A little white. We'll work all this around. A little phthalo green. So a little bit of that sky reflecting down in here. Bring that around like this. Work that in real nice. Oops, a little heavy. Off. Okay, and then again we'll work that in. So that mountain disappears into the mist. We're going to have lots of hairs. Here we bit. Again, this is all going to be covered. I'm not worried about that. Okay. Again, we just want some mist down here. Okay, good. Like I said, we're going to cover all this up with some snow. So, we're going to get our fan brush, and we're going to go into this white. And again, this is a commission that is loosely based off my last Northern Lights. So get some white on there, make some snow. So we're going to have this. The last one, I cut the hill this way. Here, I think we'll start here. And it's going to come down like that. All right. We can grab some of this green, phthalo green as well. And basically just kind of filling this in. Get a nice clean line here. little of that phthalo green. More white. I'm basically just filling this in. Excuse me. Bring this up here. Dragging some of that phthalo green. Again, we don't want to overdo it, just kind of subtly. And just smooth that out. And I'm going to come back here a little bit. This little knife. I'm going to bring this down just a hair. A little more into this mist area. Good. Just a little more. Just need to come over just a little bit more. That's better. Just a little bit. Just a little bit there. Take a little bit of this off. Good. And then we'll come back and we'll just kind of gently tap this out just a little bit. Oops. We don't want to do that. But we can fix it. Let's get rid of that. Careful. There we go. Let's try that again. Let's take our little soft blender brush. How did that do that to me again? Come here, you. And we can just cover that with a tree. Okay, good. Just kind of blend this out a little bit. Did it again. Make sure your brush is clean. Let's take that out. And again, fix that. Make sure my brush is wiped off this time. And just bring that down over top. This edge built up a wee bit. Just knock that off. Sometimes happens on the end of your canvas. That's easy to fix. Good. Okie doke. Moving right along. All right, I think I'm good with that. Now, we'll pop in some trees. Okie doke. So we're going to put some trees in. So we're going to use our mountain mix and a filbert brush. I got my Paint with Bram filbert. I like this thing. It's a very nice brush. Highly recommended. All right, so let's load that up. Okay. Now we'll have a big tree about right here. Maybe she starts maybe here. And I just like to do a guide. You don't have to put those guides in, but I find it's easier to keep my tree straight because they will wander on you, that's for sure. All right, so let's go up here, load that brush up, and we're just going to, the top, it's a light touch, okay? And then we'll work our way down. And so we start to, we want to go side to side. Hard to see, but once we highlight it, she'll look fantastic. Hopefully. Okay, coming down. More color. And now we got to decide how far we want him to come. And he's going to be more in the foreground, so what I might even do is come through here and wipe some of this white paint away that's going to be underneath him. It's going to help. There we go. A little bit better. can extend him down a little bit easier without picking up too much of what was under there. A little white, that's okay. Bring him down a little further. Cover that end. Flip your brush when you get low on paint. All right, and you can see it's getting a little white down here, so just drop some extra paint on there. Good. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to wipe my brush. Go back to some more paint. And let's see here. I know I want to have, let's put a tree. Hold on, let me think for a second. Maybe we'll go next to him first. Let's go over here. Maybe he's about here. And a little further back. You don't want to cover up too much of that mountain, but got to do what you got to do. Where did I start that guy? Right here. Okay. You can't see him against that mountain, but once we start adding our highlights, he'll stand right out. Yeah, maybe this guy's going to go a touch higher. There we are. Extend that top right to there. Good. Okay. All right, keep working down. Maybe this guy's going to be dipped over the side here, so we're only going to see the top of him. So we'll start him right here. So he's going to disappear there over the edge. And we'll clean up his bottom because I want him going down over the side. So we'll come back through here and clean all that up. Maybe he's got a friend. And again, he's going to go right to there. You don't see the other side of him. And maybe we got one right here. Maybe he's a little crooked. It's right to there. Okay, and then maybe, let's see. Maybe our next row, we're going to come up here. Let me go over here and fill this in a little bit. out just a touch. A little darker. Okay, good. Maybe our next one, I might put some smaller ones there, but let's put one right here. He's going to be a little more closer. So maybe he starts here. A little crooked. Okay, more paint. So let's go here. Some more paint. Okay, keep coming. This guy's going to land on this side. Darker. We're picking up that paint underneath it. Oops. Kick it over. Okay, and let's keep moving. Maybe he's got someone behind him. There. Flip. And he's right on the top of the hill there. Good. Maybe right here. Let's see. Okay. And then maybe here. Let's see. These will disappear. Maybe this guy is here. Flip. And again, we're just working side to side. This filbert is great for these trees. Really nice. Totally love it. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I keep going down. What do I want to do here? Maybe he's here just a little bit bigger. Good. And we're just working our way down here. Maybe we got another one. He sits way over here. Just a little guy. Yeah, just dropping off the edge of the earth here. And again, we can plop maybe a little guy here. Give him a little top. Wait a minute. Good. I think I'm going to bring this guy a little further. That's the cool thing about this. We can decide where we want these to be. And bring them down a little bit further. Get some more color on him. Get a little white on me. Okay, good. And I'm going to grab a smaller filbert. Okay, let's get a smaller filbert, load that up with color. I'm going to drop let's drop a tree right here. Maybe he's going to be way off. Okay. Get some highlight color. And he'll just break that horizon line of the ground. Very nice. And I think we can do a few over here too. Let me just draw them in like this. We could do that. Get a nice sharp chiseled edge. This will just go off to nothing. I like that. Maybe we'll do the same thing over here. So we'll have maybe a little bigger tree right here. Okay. Around that corner. Little guys are tricky. Okay, and then we'll let this boy out, and then we'll just kind of with a chiseled edge. We'll just take these down and off, right out of sight. Okay, good. Now, we need to come back with our fan brush, some of this color, clean that line up. Grab a little bit of that tree, pull it out. Same thing here. A little bit of it goes back this way. Okay. Same thing here. Little shadow coming out. And the same thing on this side with this guy. Just a little shadow under this tree. Maybe a little bit comes this way. It'll come a little this way and a little bit this way. Same thing here. And this. Good. Okay. Now maybe we'll even, let's see here. Maybe just a little bit of this darker color. Let's see here. Maybe here we have a little bit of a snowdrift. Okay. If he goes around here. Okay. Wipe our brush off. And then come in a little more straight white. And just come off this edge. There, now we got ourselves a little drift. A little more white. Oops, more. Go off of this guy. Maybe tone him down just a bit. Not that much. That's all right. We can use that to our advantage of the tone down. Bring that back. Okay, so I like that. I like how we have the little bright spots where light's hitting and then some shadow areas as well. Phthalo green. Let's blend that out. Good. Oops, let's get that off of there. Okay, and then smooth that out again. We could probably do the same thing with a little phthalo green here. Another little, let's see. Bring that up into him. Good. A little more white. Brush. Too much green in there. Let's get some straight white. Just to accentuate that edge. And bring it down. Okay, I like it. Okay, now we're going to highlight our evergreens. So with that, again, we'll use our filbert, some white that I have left here, and I'm going to add, I'm going to pick up some liquid white on my brush, a bunch of liquid white, and I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, put it to the side here. That will give us some, and I think we're going to go into this greenish white color. So let's go up into here, pick up a lot of this green, get it in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push that brush into the paint, just like that. Get a little ridge on the end. And I like to tap it once or twice to get the thick stuff off. And then we'll come up here and gently see where the top of my tree is. Touch. Hard to see where my tree is. Touch. Not too much. Might have to add a little white to differentiate it from the mountain. Right there. And we're just touching. And as we get to the bottom, a little darker. In the back half, once our brush empties, then we can kind of go to this back half and gently, just a few impressions. If you got to go back and get more color, don't clean your brush. Keep it a little dirty back here. Very subtle on the back half. And you get a little different value because your brush is picking up that dark, so you're going from that green to white. And I'm going to go in here and tap. Just going to darken up this a little bit. It's too bright. Just need a little differentiation there. I'll use my little brush to punch in some dark. Anytime you're not happy with your highlight, you can just come right back with some dark in those little sections. Maybe it's too bright, just tap it a little bit. There we go. I will come in. Let me see. I do want to make this just a touch brighter, just a touch. Maybe where some light's hitting, just to, again, bring it out against that green on the mountain. And maybe go a little brighter above it. And fix the bottom of that one. Go back and get some dark. Okay, good. And then bring a couple of these out. Just where the light's hitting it a little more. You don't want them all like that. Just a couple. And again, let me clean it up. Don't be afraid to come back in. So we all make mistakes. We hit a little too hard, a little too much. And just touch it up a little bit. That's all you got to do. I don't like this one at all. So I'm going to get rid of that. We'll build the tree around it from behind. Okay, so this one will cut through. Okay, very good. And again, I could highlight all my trees and I could still come back and put in a little dark, put in a little light, whatever you think it needs. You can always go back and fix. All right, so again, reload our brush. Let's come up here. Touch. Gonna brighten some of these up. Just get this base color down. Good. And some white. A little brighter. Just a little bit. Just to differentiate the top here. Okay, good. And then come back to the back side with the little bit of paint that we have left. And we'll just make a couple touches here and there. Good. I like that one. Come back. Gonna touch that just a little bit. And right there. Just dull him down a little bit. Good. Excellent. All right. Moving forward. Or backwards. Let's load up. Maybe this one's next. They get smaller. They get more difficult to highlight, that's for sure. So be careful. The big thing here is you don't want to smear. You want to touch. Okay, good. Smear's not good. Touch is good. These, not too many, just a little bit. Just a touch. Those we really don't need to do too much to. Let me get this top. We've got a hair. Let's get that hair out of there. Well, we got the hair, but we ruined the tree. We'll fix that. All right, let me get my brush. Fix the top of this guy a little bit. Maybe got to make him a little wider. And a little taller. Let's fix him. We'll do the whole thing again. Let's color him back in. Okay, good. Needs to be a little wider right here. All right, good. That's better. We got the hair, but we ruined the tree. Okay, and then we'll re-highlight. Just touch. Just a couple spots. There we go. Good. Now this guy. All right. Where does he start? Right here. More color. On the back half with the paint that's left. And again, I'm going to come back with my smaller brush. I'm just going to punch in a few spots. Not many. This extends out a little bit. Come back. Define this a little more. Good. Keep moving. Okay, we'll just touch this guy a little bit. And a little bit on the back half, not much. Yeah, because our light's coming from this side. More color. Come to this boy or girl. And gently on the back. And we'll come in and darken him up a little bit in spots too. More color. And right here. Real careful on these little guys. They don't need too much. More color. And these guys just get a touch. There we go. He needs a little bit. And let's put a little bit here. That's maybe a side touch or two. That's all we need. Same thing here. He just needs a little touch. And here, go sideward. And just touch a couple spots like that. Good. And then I'm even going to come in there with my dark. Maybe just a little bit. Cover this up a wee bit. Just need a little bit of highlight here, not much. Good. Same thing here. It's a little light. Just darken a wee bit. Just tap that. Okay, good. Okay. I don't want to mess with that too much. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. I think we are good. I'm pretty happy with that. I might come back and make some changes, but the first thing I need to do before I leave you is we need to splatter some stars into the sky. So that's always the fun part. So what I do for that is we will take a knife, clean it off. Okay. This is the way I do it anyway. So I like to take my fan brush and just dip it into a little bit of liquid white. Okay. So you have a little bit, that's too much. So what I'm going to do is to tap that and get really most of it off. So there's almost like it wouldn't flick. And experiment. Then come over here and flick and see what happens. Okay, see, that's not enough, and that's okay. Go back, add a little more. Tap it off. Okay, and then gentle flick. See what happens. There we go. Now we're getting some stars. Okay, see, now we're good. Just put those in the dark areas. A little more. Don't put too much on. You'll throw big balls of white blobs. We don't want that. Just want it gentle. Okay, so let's go up here. And again, we're really kind of aiming for the dark areas. Lots of stars in the sky. Keep it moving. Let's go up here. Let's get a little more. And dab it. Tap it on a paper towel. And come back. Gentle flicks. And then if you need a little more pressure and a little more stars, then you can do that. Okay. And we'll hit the bottom here. The mountain. A little more. And our last spot. And if you get a loose one and he's sticking out a little bit, we can just kind of blend him away. There. And it looks like a little effect on your Aurora. So cool. All right, so we got the stars in the sky. I want to chuck, let me see here. Just a couple right here. Good. And I think that is good. And we will call this a finished painting. I thank you so much for joining me. It was an absolute pleasure. And we'll see you guys on the next time. Good luck with this one. Show me what you painted. Appreciate it. Y'all take care.